Good afternoon. Welcome to the 2020 Economic Depression and Recession channel. I'm your host, Tony. Thank you so much for joining me on the weekend edition here. Briefly want to talk about the economic news coming out of DC this week, suggesting that consumer spending rose in August and in September. Economy on track for record third quarter growth. This is published by CNBC, in conjunction with MarketWatch. Please make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thank you for your support. And any comments or suggestions for future videos, please leave them in the comments below, and I'll be sure to read them. A report on this past Thursday from the Commerce Department showed consumer spending rose by 1% in August after increasing 1.5% in July. Apparently, people have leftover money, supposedly, according to this report, from buying discretionary items. Economists had forecast consumer spending to increase by 0.8% in August, but personal income fell 2.7% in the month, steeper than economists' expectations of the 2.4% decline that most were predicting. So it was suggested that the unemployment subsidy, some states are now, as you know, they've cut it down from $600 to $300 a week extra unemployment subsidy, has helped to anchor consumer spending. But funding for that program is obviously running out. As we head into the fourth quarter, which we're into now, we see that the volatility not only in the stock market but in the consumer market is going to continue at a record pace, because those who are spending in this economy are spending on necessity items, and they're spending on items that they know that they're not going to be able to get once this collapse gets in full swing starting next year, as we've been saying on this channel. And the thing is, with the forbearance mortgages and the rent moratoriums, that's set to expire in December, as you know. So where is the extra money coming from? We may not even get a stimulus check. As a matter of fact, the second stimulus check, of course, the House would pass it, but we know that the Senate and the other Republicans and other people are not looking forward to passing this bill, this next stimulus bill, because we don't have the money. We've already spent $8 trillion with the sickness pandemic and on the first stimulus package, which was really nothing. $1,200, think about it. $1,200 is really a drop in the bucket. It's not enough to cover rents in most major cities nowadays. It's not enough to cover mortgage payments. And in some cases, some people's car payments with insurance, taxes, and gas and everything is up to that amount almost. If you really think about it, you look at a new car nowadays, even for like Hondas and Toyotas, they're going for $32,000, $35,000. I mean, that's crazy. Trucks, you go to the truck dealership and try to get a new truck, a pickup truck, you're looking at $50,000, $60,000 easily, sometimes $80,000 with these super F-250s or whatever, diesel, Cummins, Power Stroke. So things are really, really getting concerning here, guys. Expect personal income to continue to decline as more and more jobs numbers come in. We have 65 million people unemployed in America right now. The official numbers that they're giving us, the Labor Department are giving us, is 35 million, but it's double that because you're not counting those people who have given up for work or who are no longer receiving unemployment benefits, who are not counted in those statistics. And so the economy has been the selling point of this administration, this presidential administration, but now the reality is coming out that this economy hasn't recovered at all. It hasn't added any jobs, and consumer spending is on the way down as mortgage demand falls nearly 5%, even as interest rates are low. Mortgage demand fell 5%, ladies and gentlemen, this past September. That tells you right there that this job market, this economy is really, really bad. And it don't take a rocket scientist to figure this out. I'm not telling you anything that you don't already know, but what I am telling you is that it's only going to get worse from here on out. Even if we get a change in administration, even if we get a second stimulus plan, which I don't think we're going to get because we're broke. America's broke. The government doesn't have money. As a matter of fact, most of the people in the private sector are not even hiring. Google, Apple, Facebook, Amazon, they're barely hiring. They're only hiring to meet their demand in terms of the warehouse and the online thing. But once that fades away, once the technology blue chips fade away, which they will. You remember in the dot-com bubble in 2000s and all of that, they had all these companies coming out, massively over-leveraged, massively overvalued, not only in the stock market, but in real life as well. They were getting 50 times earnings and all this insane numbers, but they didn't have the cash, the liquidity to back it up. The same thing is going to happen here with this collapse. It's not just the companies, but it's the individuals. The consumers don't have the liquidity, the capital, the cash, the actual cash in hand to support the values of these houses, the values of these businesses, And the personal income, the value of Americans. The average American family per capita income is below $40,000 a year. Okay, so yes, there's a lot of people out there making money. I'm sure there is, but that's in the majority. There's less than 10% that's making over 250K or over 100K, as they like to say in the statistics here. So you compound that with everything that's going on, and you have to ask yourself, where is all this heading? What is the end goal? The end goal is for control. The control of our civil liberties, the control of our freedom. Because the money right now doesn't matter. The Federal Reserve has already committed to printing as much as possible to devalue your dollar, to devalue your currency. And even if they go to a digital dollar, a lot of people are talking about the Fed coin and the digital coin. It's the same thing. It's for control, because now they can track the money. They can track your money. They can track everything about you on this digital currency. It won't be a crypto. It may be a crypto, but it be one that's controlled by the government for sure, obviously. So, but during that time, before we get to this new transition economy, there's going to be a period of tribulation. And that's going to be the Great Depression, the next Great Depression 2.0. That's going to last 12 years at least. Just like Japan had to go through, we're going to go through. But it's going to be on a worse scale, because we've become so comfortable. We've become luxurious. We've become comfortable. We can order anything on Amazon and get it in 2 days. We've become comfortable with our cars, our houses, our lands, whatever we own, our boats, whatever we own or rent to own. We've become comfortable with that, Americans and the Western world in general. So we don't have conditions like Venezuela, where they have to kill the zoo animals to eat or look for the trash for food and stuff like that. But that is coming to America. That lifestyle, the Venezuelan and the Zimbabwe's and the Weimar Germany, is coming to America, unfortunately, because we've overspent. Not only corporately, but privately, personally, individually, we've overspent our credit card, and we've been living off the rest of the world. And now the chickens are coming home to roost, ladies and gentlemen. And that's going to mean just a world of trouble. No matter how the media spends it, no matter how the president spends it, we are in a world of trouble. And it's just now going to become apparent in this first quarter of 2021. So that's why I'm encouraging you to continue to stack food, water, continue to stack supplies, because you're not going to be able to get certain items. You go to some of these stores, like Lowe's, Home Depot. You try to find non-GMO, non-GMO garden heirloom seeds. You try to find some supplies like farming supplies or wire fence or chain links, whatever. Those things are getting in very limited supply. You go to the grocery store, prices are going up. I went to the grocery store last week and I bought the same amount of items that I normally buy. Let's just say I went Trader Joe's, okay? And I went there just to get a few items that normally would get organically or whatever. And it costs, I tracked it. It costs $14 more this time for the same items. So food inflation is here. Gas is going to be set to going up. As a matter of fact, New Jersey, they just added a gas tax, 3.5% increase in their gas tax in New Jersey, because they're saying that people haven't been traveling because of the pandemic, and so they added. So taxes are going to be increasing too. So think about it. We're going to have increasing taxes on all of this: property tax, gas tax, land tax. Vehicle taxes in Virginia. All that's going to be increasing, right? But we have declining salaries, declining employment, and everything. So it's the perfect storm for a total collapse. And that's going to happen regardless of who's in office, because everybody's in on it together. Everybody. All of your leaders, all of your senators, all of your whatever are in on it together. And their money is safe, and their plan is safe, because they have money in different currencies. They have different houses and bunkers, underground bunkers full of food, water, security, guns, and everything else that we can think of. So that's why it's important that you and I continue to prepare, because we know that the window of opportunity is closing for the average man and woman to get these type of supplies, because the jobs are not going to be there, regardless if it's digital or whatever. It's not going to be there for us. And this next depression is going to have us, every man and every woman and every boy and girl, for him or herself. This is what the economy has come to, ladies and gentlemen. So let's continue to prepare. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. And I look forward to seeing you this week. Have a blessed week, and I'll talk to you very soon.